Hi everyone, welcome to day 2 of remote learning. Uh, so today we're going to be talking about multidimensional arrays. Before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. All right, so I'm going to just pop into the Replit assignment for today. Now, uh, obviously, this is where the link to the YouTube video is going to be. You're already here, so you don't need to worry about that. But there's some other information here that you need to look at, namely, please make sure every single school day between the hours of 9 and 3 p.m., 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., you are filling out this Google form so I can mark you present for my class. All right, my administrator really wants me to be keeping up with attendance, so it is critically important that you do this. Okay. If you have any questions throughout the day, I will be in Zoom at this location. You can just go there. But honestly, uh, it's way more likely you are going to find me and be able to quickly contact me here at the Discord channel for the classroom. In fact, it's the Discord channel for all of my classes. Um, I have we already have like 40 something people in there. They're building a community. They've done it in a day, with very little coaxing from me. So just make sure you guys are doing that. Just get on in there, and that way you can talk to the rest of your classmates and really keep in the loop. And this will make it way easier for me to send you guys new information as it comes. Okay, so with that little bit of housekeeping out of the way, let's just get that out of there and start talking about multidimensional arrays. All right, now, what are multidimensional arrays? All right, now, so far we have been talking about arrays, but we've really been talking about one-dimensional arrays, and they look something like this. I could make a array of string data, for example, called names. And I could say, all right, make a new string array of 5 names. And then I could say, names at index 0. Let's set that to James. Then I could say names at index 1. Let's set that to Jia. I could say names at index 2. Uh, let's set that to Harvey. And you guys are getting the gist. Let's just fill this out. And you can put whatever names you want in here, but I'll just put in a few more names. Let's put Arlena and names at index 4. Let's put Kamain. Alright, so I put 5 names into my string, and this is a one-dimensional array. Alright, you could model this very similarly. I'm going to show you, I'll just call it names 2. You could also just do this by making an array and then setting it equal to a set of curly brackets, and then inside you just put the names. So I can put James, Gia, Harvey. Man, why can't I spell that name? Arlena and Kamain. Okay, these are 2 different ways of starting the same array. Alright, but now this is a one-dimensional array because you have a single index that you use to keep track of where you are in that array, and that is, index 0 at this first location, index 1, index 2, index 3, and index 4. Okay, now let's try making a multi-dimensional array. Alright, and to do that, it's incredibly easy. Alright, all you need to do is add another set of square brackets at the end of the data type that you are choosing to make an array of. I'm going to make an array of integers, a two-dimensional array of integers called grades, and we're going to do it this just like before, 2 different ways. We're going to first we're going to have it be where we have a new array that we can fill in manually by index, and then we'll use the shorthand method. Alright, so let's say we want a new integer array. Let's make this, reasonably small, a 2 by 3 array. And what this does is this makes a 2D array of integers. Now I think it's useful and helpful to consider two-dimensional arrays like tables. All right, so I'm going to say a 2D array of integers with 2 rows and 3 columns. All right, so let's fill that out. All right, I'm going to say grades. Now if I wanted to access an element, all I have to do is put 2 square brackets and give the index for each location. So if I say grades 0, 0, what this does is it says access the element in our array in the 0th row at the 0th column. So it'll be that, if you visualize it, the top left corner of a table. So I'm going to just set that to like arbitrary numbers. I'll say 2. Now I'll just do 1. Then I'm going to copy and paste this just to make my life easier. Boop, 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 boop. And so now this array has 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 1, 1, and 1, 2 as locations that I'm going to set to 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the way you can consider this is in the, actually let's draw out a picture. Let's draw out a picture. All right, so if I have this two-dimensional array here, I can consider this, if I just draw this out real quick, it's not going to be pretty, but it's gonna work, I hope. All right, so this is the two-dimensional array if you were to visualize it. It's sort of like a table with 2 rows and 2 columns, right? This is row 0, this is row 1, this is column 0, column 1, and column 2. All right, and then what we did here is we said, all right, put in array index 0, 0, put element 1. So what that'll do is that puts the element 1 there. Then put in row 0, column 1, the element 2. So that puts that integer 2 right there. And then put in row 0, column 2, this element 3. And then here, row 1, column 0, put a 4, then a 5, then a 6. All right, super easy concept. And you might be saying, well, Mr. Sands, why wouldn't you just have that all out in one array? You could. There's no one stopping you. But this sometimes serves to be a very helpful organizational tool in our programming. And we'll actually use it in a updated gradebook class a little bit later this week or next week, depending on the timing. All right, now that we have that written out, that's one way of writing the two-dimensional arrays. Here's the easier way. What you can do is just say int bracket bracket like before. I'm going to call this one grades 2. And I'm just going to set this equal to, again, an array. But here's the fun part. In your string array, what you were doing is you were putting string elements in this array. But in a multi-dimensional array of integers, what you could really think of it as an array of integer arrays. I'm going to say that again. All right, here we have a one-dimensional array of strings. That's because the data type that we want to put in our array is this string data type that you see over there. And to determine that we make an array of that, we put these square brackets. Down here, what we're saying is, I want to make an array, using this terminology, of integer arrays. So inside these brackets, I can just put more curly brackets, which will be the integer arrays that I'm storing. If that doesn't make sense, I promise I'm going to explain it exhaustingly uh, throughout the remainder of this video. All right, so what elements am I going to put in the array? Let's fill this out. This first array that I have in here, this is going to be my 0th row. All right, so I'm going to say 9, 15, and let's say negative 3. I'll put in there. Okay. Then in this second row, this second set of curly brackets, I'm going to put 7, 31, 14, and let's put 22. And well, a helpful thing about doing it this way is that it is very easy to make a two-dimensional array that doesn't necessarily have the same amount of elements in each of the arrays being stored. Okay, so if we wanted to conceptualize of this grades array, let's clear this out. Let's add another column on there. Again, it's not going to look pretty, but it's going to work. All right, and what we're saying is in this first row, we have 9, 15, and negative 3 at the indexes 0, 1, and 2 respectively. We don't actually have an element in here, so we're just going to ignore that. And then in the second row, we have the elements 7, 31, 14, and 22. All right, and you see here, well, we have these two arrays that are just stored in the same location. That's all it is. It's just two arrays in a single variable. Okay, so why even bother doing this? What is this helpful? Well, one, when you're using multi-dimensional arrays, it is actually incredibly easy to loop through multiple arrays at the same time because they're all in a single location. And it also helps us model real life data a lot more closely. Because, for example, when we're doing our updated gradebook, a gradebook that a teacher uses is typically more of a table than a single line of many grades, all right? Because you want to be able to organize them by row and column, where the row might be the students and the column might be individual grades for each assignment. So this data structure, this multi-dimensional array, will actually help us do that very easily. Multi-dimensional arrays will also make it a lot easier for us to do some math operations that we'll touch on later on in the course. But for now, just make sure that you have in your assignment this very simple set of information. It's super easy to get, very little writing, and then submit it. And with that, we'll call it a day. Just real quick before we end, I can't stress enough how important it is to do the attendance form every single school day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Please try to do it in that window because I'll be asked for those attendance records at the end of the school day, which is 3 p.m. And also, please join the Discord channel. I already have several moderators in there and a lot of other people that are very friendly and very welcoming, and I'd love for you to join our school community. And also, I'd love to give you an easy way to contact me and for me to contact you. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you joining me here in this distance learning exercise, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.